Hello, Scrappin' Ames fans. Sorry about that. I am back with another video today. I have got a 12 by 12 monochromatic layout for you. This one's inspired by a Paige Evans class that I was doing or looking at, viewing this one night that I was doing some scrapping. I do the big picture classes. I'm a member on that site, and it's one of her early classes, and I was just flicking through and I thought I might give this a bit of a go. So I don't do many monochromatic layouts, so I thought I would give it a try. So I'm scrapping two smaller photos here of my stepdaughter with my very spunky little nephew from last year, about August last year. And I just adore these photos. I think I stumbled across them when printing some photos for his album that I'm trying to get finished off, because I tried to get it done by the time he was one, which he was one in December last year. So that's a bit of a fail. And I thought, oh my gosh, how gorgeous are these? They need to go in her album as well. So here we are. And I thought the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Happiness collection that I have left over from a previous Kitaholic Kit subscription would be perfect for this. So I'm going with the monochromatic pink theme. And yeah, this has got lots of pink in it amongst other tones. Yeah, I did struggle a lot, actually, as much as I thought it would be really easy to do. I think because I knew I was going to use this collection the minute I knew I was going to scrap these photos. But then when I decided that I was going to go all pink, I struggled a bit more. So here we go. What I've done is a plain piece of white, just Kaiser Craft cardstock background. I've then got a piece of the 12 by 12, one of the 12 by 12 pattern papers, and cut it pretty much where it starts to go off into other tones, like of orange. I think here that top piece is all pinks and different shades of pink. Then it sort of starts to go into like oranges and then like blues and stuff like that. So I have chopped it up, put that on the top, and then gone the black and white hearts, which was just a piece I had left over from where I've used it for doing some design team layouts a few months back, and decided to put that there. And then I have done an old school trick that I have not done, mixed media trick that I have not done in so long. And it was simply mixing a pink gelato, which you can see to the left of my hand there, in some texture paste. So I smooshed it onto my ice cream lid there. It's been with me forever. And then mixed the texture paste through it. Very technical, just smooshed it around and mixed it through. And then I'm just pushing it through the stencil. Now I do that a couple of times. This stencil is a Kaiser Craft stencil. I think it's actually fairly new. I think it goes in their Paisley Days collection. And voila, all done. So I absolutely loved this mixed media technique. I used to do it all the freaking time. I think I learnt it from the lovely good old Inky Quill. When I first started getting into mixed media, it was something that I would do all the time. That, and then I think I moved to the packaging technique. So it's a good old school trick. But yeah, so I just thought I knew I'd have lots of different tones of pinks in the gelatos. I've got lots of gelatos. So I knew I would go without fail there. Plus, I didn't want to put any gesso on my page. I didn't want to dull any of the different tones of pink that I've got on that pattern paper at the top. So I just thought this was not a wet media as such, so I wouldn't need any gesso. So that's what I did. Now I'm just putting some tissue paper around, or back my photos onto some tissue paper, just to give it a nice soft, feel to the photos there. A bit frilly, a bit soft, a bit girly, a bit lovely. just pulling out. So when I did this layout, which was over the weekend just gone, so we are doing this voiceover, it's Tuesday night, so we being Canberra, had a long weekend, so I got to scrap a little bit extra, stay up a bit later and scrap over the weekend. Bonus. I was doing a fair bit of scrapping, and I was trying to get into some of my older techniques, bring back some of the old school. So I was trying to do some things like tissue paper, and as I said, the gelato mixed into the texture paste and some of those sorts of things. So it was nice to get in amongst it again, some of the old stuff. Always a good way to discover how we all started out. So now I'm just going to, I think I back these onto this pink piece of paper. Again, I'm pretty certain I used for this entire layout. I just wanted to use this collection. As I said, it's from a past Kitaholic kit from a few months, maybe 2 months ago. So, what are we, May? I don't think it was April's kits. It might have been March's kits, not long after it was released. I could be wrong. You can jump on the Kitaholic kits page, excuse me, the shop, and double check. There may be some available. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I know they've still got, I think Steph's just restocked the shop with some of the cocoa vanilla stuff anyway. But yeah, so I wanted to use some of that up, trying to use up some of my stash. So just adding layers there and chopping those down. Again, as I said, using up some of that pink. And I do mount my photos, as you can see here, onto the brown is just some craft foam, just to give the layout some dimension, as well as to really highlight the texture paste in underneath the photos. Whilst always the photos are always your focal point on a layout, well, they are to me, I really liked the way the texture paste looked. It added another sort of focal image, I thought, to the layout, so I wanted to make sure that you could see it. So adding that the craft foam gives them that lift, gives the photo a bit of oomph up off it, and you can see the image in underneath a little bit better. Excuse me, sorry, I got a croaky voice all of a sudden. Just pulling out. Alright, so as I said, I had some of the pieces left. I didn't have a lot of pink ephemera and things like that left over. It made this more challenging than I realised, so just had to play around. So black and white with monochromatic is okay, which was good because I had some of that left, and the words as well, as you will see. So this layout took me a lot longer than I really had anticipated, because I really needed to think about what I was going to use. I really wanted to use these flowers, but then I didn't, because obviously there's the colour in them, but I could have chopped it a little bit, or, played around, I'm sure. But then I didn't want to add too much more floral because of the images in the stenciling. So I tried a bit to avoid too much more floral, because I thought about, there's a pattern paper which is just poking out from underneath the big butterfly pattern paper that has lots of different florals on it that are in different shades of pink, and I did think about fussy cutting some of those, despite if any of you are long time watchers, you know how much I don't really like fussy cutting. I did think about fussy cutting those when I realised I didn't have a lot of ephemera left. But then I thought too much floral, just far too much. It would just really overtake the page. And once I put the photos down and all the pink with the texture paste, I just thought, you know, it looks all right with just a few bits and pieces here and there. So yeah, I was really happy once I started sticking things down and that I didn't need heaps. Now these are the printable sheet that, or maybe this was April's kit. Not March. It's from Easter, so I don't know. I can't remember. But I have to say this is probably my favourite layout, I think, from the weekend scrapping efforts. I really, really loved the way this looked once I got it going. And as I said, this is just because I was flipping through on the Big Picture Classes website. I was looking for something to watch that didn't need me to. I've got a couple of classes on there that I'm doing, but they, you know, so I have a cut file one and things I'm doing that I want to play along with, but I really didn't want to play along as such. So, you know, printing cut files off and things like that. So, because I'm trying to get into learning to do cut files and things really well. So this one was really easy. I was more looking for techniques, ideas and things like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just decided I would give it a go because monochromatic is not something I do very often. If you're a watcher of mine, you will see I don't really stick to one colour. I usually pull in a number of colours from my photos and different things like that. So yeah, and maybe this is why it was something I struggled with a bit, because I do really find it hard to stick to one colour. So just adding some last little sprinkly pieces on to tie in those shades of pink and to add some bling on my title, which I managed to pull in pink in my title, which was really good. And then I think that may be it. So I hope you've enjoyed this monochromatic video and my ramblings on. Sorry for the crackly voice and the clearing my throat periodically. It's a bit frustrating. But if you have any questions or comments about anything I've used in the video or any of the techniques I used, please feel free to leave your comment, question or other in the comment section below, and I will get back to you. But otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video, please leave me a like so I know that you've enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. That's always a nice bonus. Oh yes, I did add a bit of a doodly border here because I felt like everything was just floating around. I don't know if you look at it without the doodly border. Because there's all little lots of bits and pieces, there's no real clusters, it does to me look like they're just all floating in space. So I do put a doodly border just to sort of feel like it sort of restrains everything, if that makes sense. But anyway, now I'm finished. So thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.